So we are going to see a third journal program. In this program, you are going to create an applet which has these components, which I am trying to show you in on the screen. We have total 3 labels. One label says enter first number. Then second label says enter second number. Third label says result is. In front of each label, you have one text field. Here you have one text field, then second, and third text field is to display the result. You can see the third text field looks little different than first two. Why? That I will tell you. Then you have, apart from 3 labels and 3 text fields, you have one button called as divide. The moment you click on divide, see, first the user is going to enter 2 numbers in the first 2 text fields. Third text field will not accept any input. Once the user enters the 2 numbers, he clicks on divide button. The moment he clicks on divide button, result is displayed in the next text field of the division. First number divided by the second. And in case user enters any non-numeric value, or if the user enters 0 in the second number text field, then the message box will appear saying divide by 0 error. And if the user enters any non-numeric value in any or both the text fields, then you get number format exception. So this is our journal program. For this, let us see the design first. We are taking an applet so that there is a similarity in first 3 journal programs at least, and students will not have confusion. We are going to import Java, that is applet package. Then we are going to import awt.star. And third, we are going to import awt.event.star because we are going to have event handling here. Then next, we are also importing swing package, that is Java x.swing.star. So these 4 packages are required for this journal program. Our class name is divide, which extends applet and which implements action listener. So here we are not making use of adapter classes. We are going to make use of listener interface. So implements action listener. Then here, as we have seen the design, we require 3 text fields. So I have declared them with T1, T2, and T3. We require one button, so I have declared it as B. We need 3 labels, so we have declared them as L1, uppercase L1, L2, and L3. Don't use small case because that will be a little confusing whether it looks like 11 or L1. So use uppercase only. Or you can name it as LAB lab 1, lab 2, lab 3 also. Then here we have declared 2 numeric variables, that is num1 and num2. We have init method. So inside init method, first let us set the layout. As I demonstrated in yesterday's class, if you don't set the layout, what happens is your controls will get merged somewhere in the border because by default border layout will be implemented. Anyways, so here every time either we use flow layout. Now here in this case we are using grid layout. So grid layout accepts some parameters. It will tell you how many columns you want, how many rows, and then how many columns. We require 4 rows, 2 columns, and then it shows. I think I'll just confirm these 2 parameters. I think it is width and height, but yeah. So grid layout first 2 are column and row and column. That is for sure. Then next we have here label initialization. The first label will display them as text as enter first number. Then you have to go on placing the controls in sequence. Of course, here sequence is not required. While adding the components on the applet, that time the sequence is required. But here while initializing also, we have use the same sequence so that there is no confusion. So first label, then first text field, which is of 10 size, then second label and second text field, third label and third text field. Now, after the third text field is initialized, we see that there is one additional property, one more method we are calling called a set edit label. This method will set the property true, will set the value to true or false. Set editable means whether the text field is editable by the user. Sometimes you want to display a static message on the text field, which the user should not be able to edit. If you want such text field, in fact, it will be somewhat like label itself. Fine. So sometimes the text field can be made to display a value which is not editable. So in that case, so here our third text field is going to display the result. We don't want user to disturb that result or retype that result or edit the result. That's why we are going to set its property to set editable false. That means it will become non-editable. That's why here it is looking little different. The third text field's appearance is little different than the first two. Then we initialize the button with the text message called as divide. After we have finished initialization, next our step is to add those in on the applet body. While adding here now the sequence has to be maintained. First is the label, then the text field, second label, second text field, third label, third text field, and then the button. If you want the button to be before this third label and text field, that also you can do. Then who is going to generate the event here? Which component will generate the event? Button. The moment user clicks on the button, we are going to display the division. So button has to get registered with the action listener because button is associated with action event, right? So we are going to register it with action listener, add action listener, and this. Why this? Because our class itself is implementing the listener. Then after this, we close init method. Here we have action performed, fine, and which accept the parameter as action event. I have used, I think in the lab, they had used AE for action event. If you want, you can use simply E also. Then why try is required? Because your journal program statement itself says that we should implement event handling here. And when it comes to event handling, we must use try and catch. So try will enclose those statements which will throw an exception, which will cause the error. So which are those statements which will cause the error? Through which we are going to accept user input. We are going to accept user input through our text fields. How are we going to accept the value from the text fields? Using the method getText. But as you all know that t1.getText, by default, whatever value is entered into the text field, that will be of the type string. But to perform division, we require numeric values. And that's why here on top, we have declared through two numeric variables called as int num1 and num2 here, isn't it? So now we want a numeric value from the text field. So what we do? We tell the user to enter the number and then still that number will be of the type string. So we need to convert it. So for typecasting, we make use of this integer.parseInt method and then we assign it to num1. Same thing we do for num2 from the text field 2. We get the value, we convert it to integer, we assign it to num2. Then we take another integer variable called as a and which stores the result when num1 is divided by num2. And then that result I'm going to display in the third text field. To display the value in the text field, we make use of the method set text. So we are going to set the text in which text field? T3. So T3 dot set text. Which value we are going to set? This A. Now A is a numeric value. But while setting it to the text field, we have to convert it to a string method, string data type. So to convert it to a string, we make use of a method value of that belongs to a string class. So string dot value of A. A is a variable which is going to store our result. So this is our try. So inside these statements, if any exception occurs, the control will go to catch block. So what are the expected exceptions here? One is arithmetic exception, that is divide by 0 when the user will enter 0 in the second number. So here we are going to catch that exception using arithmetic exception. So when the error occurs, where should we display the message? The statement says that we should display the message in the message box or dialog box. So to display a message box, we are going to call show message dialog method, which belongs to JOptionPane class. Just now I demonstrated, right? So JOptionPane dot show message dialog accepts two parameters. One is the parent component on which it should be displayed, and second is the message. Now, in case of applet, the parent component will be null. So we give the first parameter as null, comma, then in double quotes, we type the message that we want to display. So first is the arithmetic exception caught. That's why we display the message as divide by 0. Then our catch block ends. There could be multiple exceptions. So we could have multiple catches here. So second exception is number format exception. So I'm going to catch it here in the second catch, number format exception. Remember that in specifying these exceptions also, since they are class, exceptions are classes. So they should be used with proper cases itself. Number format exception, N, F, and E uppercase. This value can be anything, N, E, U, anything. Number format exception N, and when the number format exception is there, I'm going to display a message in the message box. Again, the same null number format exception. My catch ends here. Similarly, I close action perform method, and then finally I close my applet class bracket. So this is my third journal program. So when this program works, let us see whether actually whether it is available here. This is our program. Just a minute, I'll maximize that. Okay. In grid layout, maximize will increase the size of the component. So you can see here in the first number, and then we have here the text field. See here, because the third text field is set editable equal to false, we have done. That's why no cursor can be placed there. Fine. So anyway, so I'll enter first. First, I'll enter proper numbers 12 and 4. Click on divide. It will show the answer. Now let me enter 0 here in the second. I just click on divide. Now you can see the message box divide by 0. Fine. Similarly, if I use any alphabet there and click on, it shows number format exception. This is what should be your output. You should show the correct output also and also the exceptions. Clear? Yes. Is it clear to you, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Any doubts? Any doubts in the program?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, see, this grid layout actually requires only two parameters as mandatory. One is the column name, the rows, number of rows, and second is number of columns. So 4 rows and 2 columns. That means 4 horizontal sections and 2 vertical sections. So these are the two required parameters. So when I run it, the program will run like this. Now, what was the difference in other two parameters? The other two parameters were horizontal gap. So if I give horizontal gap as 20 and vertical gap as 10. So see the gap in the components, in between the components. See here. So the horizontal gap between the components is 20 and vertical gap between the components. See, this is the horizontal difference, space, and vertically there is 10 ka difference. So if you wish, you can add these two parameters, otherwise only two parameters are sufficient. Clear? Any other doubt? Yes, students, any other doubt?